For our final keynote of YHS 2022, I am pleased to introduce to you Mr. Sandeep Walia. Mr. Walia is the CEO of Marriott in the Middle East, and we are very, very happy to have him here with us as our final keynote speaker. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Sandeep Walia. How are you doing today, sir?
Good, excellent. Good afternoon, good evening, and I do realize that I'm the one holding everybody now for the next 20 minutes between these three wonderful, exciting days and the drinks that would follow. So I feel excited about that. Besides the fact that excited to be part of this largest student-run summit, which is so exciting to be a part of.
We're excited to have you here, sir. Where are you joining us from?
From Dubai, actually, where I'm based. So I've been traveling a bit, which is good to kind of be back on the road and see flights getting full, including few A380s. But right now back in Dubai, where I'm based, where we have our Middle East office.
Well, sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So I think I've been looking at the agenda and I've attended a few of the sessions. I must say, it's been impressive to see the diverse speakers you've had on this conference from different walks of life, different cultural backgrounds. And it's been interesting to look at the challenge which you've all gone through in terms of the challenge of attraction and retention. Pitches aren't normally the easiest, but to do them in 1 minute and then get shortlisted, that's exciting. But congratulations to all the participants. It's been a tough job for the judges to get to the best one. In the next few minutes, before we kind of close the summit and head off for our well-deserved drinks, I was thinking about what should one talk to you all today about? Should it be trends? Should it be different things you should be looking at? And I think what resonated the most for me was that I just share my journey of where I started from to today and what I've learned along the way and what would be the few things that I would leave behind with you. So if you indulge me for the next few minutes, I just want to start with a bit of history. So where did our industry really start? It started with inns, where the couple living in the inn would kind of welcome the travelers. They would welcome them to their home. They would serve themselves. There would be a lot of warmth. It would be a home the traveler was going to live in. There was a purpose. The purpose was to make the traveler happy. And in return, the traveler would leave in terms of a barter or something, or whatever currency they had, they would leave. And they would leave. So that's where our industry really started. But it was an industry which started with a base of looking after the purpose of warmth and looking after somebody who was coming into your home. When we move to fast forward today, I'm exaggerating a bit to make my point, but you have big box hotels. This is one of our hotels in Dubai, which is 1,600 rooms. And here it's become a business. And our biggest challenge is the fact that we keep connecting our industry, and all of you, when you come into hotels and hospitality, connect our current hotels to where we started, the inns. So we have all our people, which is the most important part of our asset. The people are empowered, they are warm, they're friendly, they're looking after the people coming into that hotel, just like how the couple would have done in that inn. And when you look at the future is bright. And the future is bright because especially this COVID has only speeded up a few of the trends which had already started. So we already started to see a lot of people move from product, both in the luxury space or in the gifting space, into experiences. So if you would be on your wife's birthday, instead of buying a bag, you would say, let's go and travel and experience a particular place. So let's go snorkeling, or let's go wildlife and explore that. It might be different that when you reach there, the wife might ask you for that bag again, but that's different. But jokes apart, a lot of things started moving from product into experiences, which ties up beautiful into our industry because we are all about experiences. We also saw that during this COVID times, a lot of people traveling for business started mixing leisure. And we loosely use a term called bleisure, where people are mixing business and leisure. So much so that today, when you go to resorts, some of the biggest complaints or demands is of a high-speed Wi-Fi, which kind of goes against the whole fact of disconnecting, but people want to remain connected to work. And in business hotels, people are more and more asking for spas because they want that me downtime, even when they're going for work. So the future is bright because these are the trends which we are seeing for the future. And so you're just joining the right industry at the right time. So that's kind of a bit of how I see this industry, where it started, where we are today, our challenges, opportunities of connecting back to the warmth, empowerment, taking care of people genuinely, and therefore the future. But when you move on to the next slide, I'll start with my journey. And I'm sure you're thinking, what is this Michael Jackson picture doing on the screen? But 25 years back, when I had a few more black hair for sure, I started back in India. I did my hotel management and joined Oberoi School. And my first department was that of butlers. So here I was, 25 years younger. And when I was asked by the GM which discipline you would like to join, I said front office. And he asked me why, and I had all kind of questions and answers, why I wanted to join, and questions back to say, why not? And at the end of it, he gave me to go to butlers. And I thought that was the end of my career, because not only did I not get, neither did I get food and beverage, but I got a discipline which was more behind the scene. And this is 25 years back. This is how I felt. And this experience taught me that we can never judge opportunities that come our way. It's not about heart of the house, front of the house. It's about the opportunity you get. So the first celebrity to whom I was a butler was Michael Jackson. And we spent 3 days looking after him. And at the end, I still remember at the end of this stay of his, he said, "Are you coming for my show?" And I told him that, listen, I can't afford to. And he said, "Don't worry, you're coming in the bus in which I'm going to go to perform. So you want to come with me?" I, of course, on a side note, went to the GM to ask for permission. I'm sure you can imagine what the GM said. He said, "It'll be 2 of us." But that was my start of my career. And that opportunity brought a lot of things in the front for me. And it became one of the most successful start of a launch pad for my career, where I moved from butlers then to being a restaurant manager and so on and so forth. But it was the best start to my career, where one got involved with a lot of celebrities, and therefore it brought me into a forefront. So one thing I would say is, do not judge opportunities when they come to you. Grab them, because there would be something behind it that would connect for you, and they would all bring learnings. There would be no experience that wouldn't, or no opportunity that wouldn't. Moving on from there, I did a lot of food and beverage positions in different parts of India. And there came a time when I raised my hand and I said, listen, I want to leave India. I'm going to go international and work in another part of the world, and just understand what it is to be in hospitality outside my own country. And till then, I'd only flown once outside India, and that was to Dubai. And so it was more a fact of getting to an unknown and getting out of the comfort zone. And of course, the person whom I was speaking to, and this was then back in Oberoi Hotels in Delhi, they said, "Why don't you take the position of F&B manager right in this property, get promoted, versus going to another hotel internationally where you'll have to take a step down." It sounded tempting, but I have to say the best thing I did was that I took or grabbed that opportunity of leaving my own country and traveling. And what I'm trying to convey is not the fact that I traveled outside my country, but the fact that I got out of a comfort zone. It would have been a comfort zone to stay in the food and beverage assistant and become the next one where you know everybody, take the obvious route, go linear, But I think there's a big benefit of trying to do zigzag, different experiences, and they add into you. So I would say, as and when you're getting into a comfort zone, break the comfort zone and get out and do more. Moving on from there was the time which was one of the best decisions I took. I left my first hotel company, Over Hotels. Moving to the next slide, I joined the Marriott Group in Egypt itself. The biggest learning for me has been putting people first. So this was a time I'd resigned. I was joining to the Marriott world with the Ritz-Carlton in Sharm el-Sheikh. And a series of 8 bomb blasts took place in Egypt that time. Some of you might have heard or read in the history. And our occupancies tanked. And I called the GM of that hotel to say, listen, how's everybody? And he said, everybody is good, but I'm sure you're calling if you still have your job. And he said, we value people and we've hired you for who you are. And we put people first. And that was my first experience of my journey into Marriott. And that's always stayed with me. My first day when I not even joined, but I felt the culture of putting people first. And this picture actually shows you Mr. Marriott celebrating people himself every year, where he rewards something called we call Marriott Award of Excellence, where he actually flies all the people who get these awards to US, invites them home and celebrates them. So put people first, because all we own, as most of the hotel companies you will work for, are not hotels. It's a different business. We have different owners. But what we as hotel companies, what we as Marriott own, are brands. And brands are but brought into life by our people. If it was not for our people, the brands would be just logos. So people are the most important. And therefore, is the reason that we are on these calls participating with you, because we value the next generation who joins us at Marriott. Moving on from there, I truly got another great opportunity to travel around the world. It was a series of openings that I got involved in. It was Tokyo, it was Dublin, and it was in Doha. I took every opportunity that came, connecting back to the dot of saying, take whatever comes your way, don't judge. All experiences will add up at the end of the day and along your career journey. And it was really nice to kind of go to different parts of the world and in fact get a lot of cultural learning of how different cultures work. A very quick story on this one. I was in Ritz-Carlton, Doha. We were opening the property. It was, of course, like any opening, we were kind of ramping up fast to the opening day. It was an owner's lunch, which we had to cater to. And I was looking after banquets. I told all our associates, I said, we need to be ready for this lunch at 1:00. Our owners are coming. And it was an opening hotel. It was struggling. And some of them said, don't worry, it'll be done. Inshallah, it'll be right, fine. And I took it at the face value. It was 1:30 and we weren't ready. I fly to Ritz-Carlton, Tokyo. Coincidentally, I get the similar trainer's role in banquets. And déjà vu, the owners were supposed to come for an opening event at 1:00. I used my experience at Doha and I said, guys, we need to be ready at 12:30 for this important lunch. At 12:25, somebody walked into me and said, let's go and have a look. We are ready to start the lunch service at 12:30. And then I realized that I was not in Doha, I was in Japan. And it's not about the fact that who was more efficient or who wasn't. It's about the fact that every culture where you will go and work and immerse yourself is going to be different. So the more opportunities and the more travel you can do, the better, the more experiences you would get. So that was one learning that I had from this cross-cultural work that I did. Besides the fact that when you're training, you need to be very hands-on. The importance of remaining hands-on from a server, from a trainee, from a Voyager, as a trainee when you join, a manager or a general manager never goes away. So being a hands-on leader and being with your people, which is the most important resource, will always stay with you. So if there was one thing on this slide you would take away is that immerse yourself into the culture you go. get as local as you can, and hands-on leadership would play a big role in whatever we do. So moving on from there, I got my first GM opportunity in Moscow. We were opening the Ritz-Carlton Moscow. And here I had the pleasure and the honor to recruit all of the 400 ladies and gentlemen that we recruited for this hotel. So I met down from my hotel manager down to a housekeeper. I made it a point to meet everybody and interview and be there for the orientation. This created a kind of a family where you knew everybody, you knew every member of the team, you knew their names, and you remembered a bit of them because you had interviewed them and you'd spoken, you remembered what ticks them and what doesn't. It created such a great family and teamwork that this was one thing that has always stayed with me. Our industry is, again, all about people. It's about our people who serve the guests who come in. It's about the guests who are people, and that connect is very important. So if there's anything tomorrow when you're going to be in supervisory roles, when you're going to be in leadership roles, teamwork is underestimated at times. Hoteliering and hospitality is a football game, not a tennis game. It is either we all would win or we all fail. It's not about one person like in tennis who wins. So I would say hospitality is certainly a game of football where we all win or we don't. While I was doing this, I spent a few years in Russia and then I moved to Europe. And moving on to the next slide, it was a time when I was looking after the luxury portfolio of our Marriott hotels. As you know, we have 30 brands, 8,000 hotels all around the world. And I was looking after the luxury portfolio of Marriott International in Europe. And having spent 2 years there, I felt there was more to be done. And I raised my hand to do my executive MBA. And I recollect one person in the office asked me saying, it's going to be a lot of time commitment. Are you sure you want to do this? And somehow my instant reply was that it's going to be like a lottery ticket. If I do it, that is, if I buy it and do an executive MBA, which was a lot of time and effort, I might tomorrow win something. But if I don't buy the ticket and I don't do my MBA, I don't know if I'm going to win, or I'm sure I'm not going to win. So remaining a lifelong learner is certainly most important. And once again, I would say, it's, as you are going to graduate from different schools and get into working, don't forget this learning part. Keep that going, whether it's self-reading, whether it is formal education, it'll always help. And the second thing I would add is balance. There's always a balance required between different things. If you remember, I spoke about being hands-on leader. In here, when I was doing a multi-property role and above property role, I think it very fast synced in that I had to be a strategic leader too. So it's almost like being on the dance floor, dancing, having a good time, but then, taking that a bit of a break for a glass of wine, or just kind of taking a step back and watching the dance floor of what's happening, and then going back onto the dance floor and having a dance. That kind of balance where you're being hands-on and stepping back and watching strategically what's happening, that's important. So that balance was certainly something that I took away, which I would leave with all of you. Moving on from there, I moved to UAE, where suddenly I quickly realized when I landed that the number of hotels opening was increasing and the business was going down. I thought I saw the graph the other way around, but soon I realized that it was the other way around. But soon we were also then hit with COVID. I wish we could say that I could say we are in a post-COVID environment. We are not, but it's getting better and things are opening up. But there was one thing which certainly is something all of you would need to take down on your notes, and that would be agility. The speed to do things, the speed that you've closed hotels and you suddenly are getting filled again, the speed at which you need to decide and recruit and train people and get back to the welcoming guests. The speed of anything required in this business is immense, like any other business. And sometimes you might make a mistake while doing that, but that's better than not making any decisions at all. Finally, when I'm almost at the age of the few seconds left, where I am today as the CEO for Middle East, I would say being a coach and a mentor is certainly important. Connecting with your people is an important thing to do. And it is not only from a state of position down to a trainee or from a supervisor to a junior. It goes in all directions. So very early on in your career, make sure that you get a mentor whom you can connect with, a coach whom you can connect with and talk to about your career. And also, as you progress as a supervisor, as a manager, you start to do the same for somebody else. It's like somebody showed me where, or gave me an elevator to go up, or gave me the staircase, or showed it to me to go up. And today I feel that it's my turn to do the same. And you're going to be soon in that situation of either being shown how to go up or in a situation as a supervisor or a leader to show the way up for different people. So be a coach, be a mentor, and find a mentor very quickly whom you can connect and progress with. With that, I know I've kind of almost on time, and I would be most happy to connect to any of these learnings or experiences or any questions that you might have.
Thank you for that wonderful closing keynote, sir. We do have a couple questions for you. The first being, young people today want success and high positions fast. Do you think that's possible in today's hotel space?
I would say that it connects back to what I was saying, that growth doesn't necessarily mean that you keep getting the position of the person whom you're reporting into. It is about zigzag ways. It's about different experiences. I would say I would connect that part to the question whoever has asked that, can we grow quickly? Yes, you can, but growth comes with learning and the different experiences you can gather. So yes, on that path, moving zigzag, yes, you can do on a fast note as well. But if you're expecting just to go linear in one direction, then it's a different matter. But I think learning in different ways should also be considered growth, and that's a good way to go.
Thank you very much, sir. Sam.
We have one more, we have a few more questions for you, excuse me. The next question being, what are some of the trends coming up in the MEA region?
Good question. We kind of started to touch upon it in the beginning of the few slides we had when I said the future is bright for this industry. And I truly, truly mean this. So when I spoke about the fact that more and more people today are moving from product to experiences, it's something which had already started a few years back. It's only got speeded up with COVID. And Middle East and Africa is no exception to that. The second I would say for sure is the mixing of business and leisure that we spoke about that is increasing. And that's something which is here to stay with us. So both lean towards the fact that we have a great industry and a great future. The other thing I would add is that one more trend we've seen, I would say, I'll take the liberty of saying post-COVID to a certain extent, is the fact that people are traveling for longer. So people are traveling to one place, staying there for a longer time, trying to do more meeting and events at that place, trying to connect with different part of their businesses rather than short visits and coming back. And that resonates with me. So for example, the last few months I've been traveling and I've tried to stay at a particular place or spend 2 weeks in a particular country to first understand the country, connect with all the people versus going and coming back. So that's a trend which is here to stay. Last and certainly not the least, I would also add the fact that in December, we did a survey and 80% of the people are planning their next travel. So people are tired of not traveling, and there's certainly a pent-up demand, which we've already seen because leisure came back first, and then it's going to be business, and then it's going to be the group business. So it's going in that sequence. But the fact that 80% of the people today are planning the next visit or next travel this year or next year is great to see.
Thank you very much. We have another question. The YHS Challenge this year revolved around talent shortage. What are some of Marriott's initiatives in addressing this problem?
I think the fact that today we are here, and I know my boss Satyanand was started this event, and then my boss's boss Craig was there, and I know Francisca, our Chief Human Resource Officer, is on this call along with Pepe, and she was part of one of the judges. The fact that this is important to us to spend time with all of you today, and we're doing different similar activities around the world to be part of young hoteliers who are going to be our leaders for the future, so that we can make sure we connect well in advance. I already recruited 2 people before this call, 2 final year students who were coordinating the audiovisual. So I've already got 2 people on board. But jokes apart, I think it's the fact that we can go back to schools and connect with all of you. That's one of our biggest initiative. The second is Become, which is a new program that we have launched, because as I said, you need to stay a lifelong learner. And how do you do that when you get into the hotel industry? You can get sucked into operations and forget the fact that you need to keep connecting and look back at your career and keep connecting to the learnings. We've just launched a program called Become, which is all about what you want to become. And it's all about going into understanding who you are, where you want to go, what you need to achieve to doing that, and what are the different training courses, whether it's online or otherwise, you would need to do, and start building, if I may use the word building blocks, take the building blocks and start building your career. So different ways in which we are making sure we're going to invest in the people we recruit, so they are here to stay with us. So the Become is another initiative of ours, which is big, which is about not only recruiting, but then retaining the talent.
Thank you very much, sir, for those excellent answers. Do you have any final words you'd like to say to our delegates?
All I would say is stay passionate about the industry that you're joining. Whatever career path you take, whichever direction you take, don't let that energy or that passion go away. And if you allow me 30 seconds more to indulge in an example of saying that, I would say the fact that if you take hot water, you boil it to 99 degrees, it's hot water. You're going to put your fingers into it, you're going to burn your hand. Not that I've tried it. But if you had to burn that water for 1 degree more, it's going to be steam. And when I was younger, some of the trains were run on steam. That was the power of steam. Today, it's different sources of energy, but that's the power. So that 1 degree, which makes that water into so powerful steam, is passion. And what I mean to say is that's the energy of one thing more that you all would keep doing when you're working, when you're reading, that 1 book extra you're going to read, that 1 time extra you're going to check a floor, 1 time extra you're going to see what's going on the plate. That passion, that energy is what's going to make you successful. So stay passionate about whatever part of the industry you choose, and wish all of you all the very best. And soon see you at one of the Marriotts.
Thank you, Mr. Walia. It was a pleasure having you here to close out YHS 2022. Wish you a good day.
Thank you so much. Thank you
very
so much. Have a lovely evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So now we would like to say congratulations to our winning team, Team 8, the Globetrotters. You all have produced incredibly industry standard case studies and further empowering the hospitality industry to rise to that challenge. Your work helps drive our team to continue pushing things forward, and we would like to thank you for that.
It's no easy task winning the delegate session, and we hope you're excited about your prize.
We would like to say that the third place prize is 15,000 Marriott Bonvoy points. The second place prize is 30,000 points. And the first place prize is 50,000 Marriott Bonvoy points. You know what? I'm kind of wishing that I was a delegate now.
Yes, it's an incredible opportunity, but I think we got a pretty good gig too.
I think we did. Yeah, all sides definitely have their advantages.
True. I can't believe this is the end. I must say that I've had an incredible time with all of you. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did.
Absolutely. I definitely did. What a rich experience it's been, from inspiring keynotes to eye-opening panels and dynamic fireside chats. And countless topics have been discussed and information has been exchanged. During these 3 days, we truly saw that it is possible to break through the tide.
The energy of breaking through the tide during the summit was strong. Everyone was incredibly engaged and passionate every single day.
There were so many great moments. What was the favorite moment of yours, Sam?
Mine was Craig Smith's keynote today, very inspiring. Honestly, made me very excited for my future here at EHL as well as in the hospitality industry.
Absolutely, that was a really good one. I think mine was today, the fireside chat with Michael Levy and David Keane. That was incredible. They brought up some things that I'm definitely going to keep in mind, being general manager or maybe CEO. You never know.
That was a great part too.
Throughout the summit, we were able to witness many ideas that will allow us as an industry to move forward. We heard how a shift from individualism to co-evolution will lead us on a holistic path of community empowerment and local integration. We discussed how hospitality providers can enable future travelers to roam the world how they envision it, pondered the forever evolving world of leadership, and explored how times of crisis represent opportunities for companies to truly reinvent themselves.
We'd also like to thank all of you for your contribution to the YHS family, enthusiasm, and passion you have all given to this summit. YHS would not be the same without all your wonderful energy. And although we were online, it felt like all of you were here with us in this room and learning and growing together. We also would like to thank you, the audience, is at the center of everything we do. And here at YHS, you inspire us to bring this event to you, further develop and envision the future of hospitality industry year after year.
Absolutely. Thank you, delegates. And of course, we'd like to thank each and every one of our speakers for their hard work. Each of our speakers gave us something unique to learn, something to remember and ponder. We would like to also thank Marriott, our main challenge provider, for your generosity and your hard work. We really could not have done it without you. We'd also like to thank EHL and EHL Alliance for all of your support and dedication. We thank you sincerely.
Dear delegates, this event would have been impossible without your active involvement. And it has been a pleasure for all of us here at YHS to make this event happen with all of you. It was truly inspiring to witness true passion for the hospitality industry for so many young minds. So delegates, please wave. We love you.
We love you. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Last, but definitely not least, we'd like to take another moment to thank everyone here at YHS for their remarkable effort in putting this event together. Without this driven, organized, and passionate team of students, this event would have never even begun. It is safe to say that these past 10 months, hard work has paid off.
It is now time to say goodbye. Dear YHS team, would you like to come say goodbye with us? We hope that if there is a main theme to take from our summit, it is that although at times it can feel like the waves are crashing relentlessly and it can feel really hard to catch your breath, it is always, always possible to break through the tide. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.